What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 9. We're starting to do some stuff away against Spezia, one of the fellow newly promoted sides to the Serie A alongside us, and of course the runners-up Cremonese last season. So taking on Spezia, bouncing straight back to the Serie A after their relegation in what you'd call pre-season 1, if you will. Of course we're doing this save, sort of following on from the season we of course saw in real life, if that makes sense. But yeah, taking on Spezia, away from home. Is Thiago Motta still in charge there? Thiago Motta at Spezia? I don't know. But anyway, taking them on here away from home. We thrashed Cremonese in a battle of the two automatically promoted teams last season. But heading into this game, well, it was a pretty poor start. Yet we fell behind, but would level it 8 minutes after the restart. And what a fantastic flick this was for Saponara's first goal for the club as well. Yep, dinking it over the goalkeeper who literally came out to meet him, and it just crossed the line on time, and it was credited with his goal as well. So the unbeaten run, I say unbeaten run, we did lose to Roma and Juve in the mix. But even so, to start the season off, we had 2 losses. But since then, just the 2 defeats. Since those opening 2 losses, I have to say, I feel like we've bounced back pretty well, to be fair. Pretty well indeed. Yes, we obviously beat Salernitana and then a draw against Spezia. And I must say, we've done pretty well at bouncing back after back-to-back losses to start the campaign off. I have to say, I think I've done all right here. You know, we've got a really poor squad, let's be honest. It's a really poor squad. There's a complete lack of depth. It's a young team, and of course we do have a few senior experienced players as well. There's 11 new signings, and listen, we all know that when, you know, clubs make too many changes in the summer, it can be hard for those players to gel and to start a season off quite well. Nottingham Forest, I'm looking at you last season. Steve Cooper, of course, had the last laugh keeping them up, but even so, they had a really tough start to the season last year, and one of the reasons why was because of the fact they brought in so many new players. Didn't even know each other's names, probably, heading into the first few games. But anyway, I think I've done all right there. So whilst we did lose the following game there at home to Udinese, I think I've done okay to start the season off right now, above the bottom 3. And if you were to say to me a third of the way through the season right now, as we are heading into match day 13, you'd be above the bottom 3. You've already got quite a few wins to your name as well, and only the 5 losses now on the back of that defeat to Udinese. I've taken that at the start of the season and then some. So for right now, I'm pretty pleased with this. And you might sit there and say it's a lack of ambition, you should be aiming for a top 10 finish in the first season, but no. I'm taking it in stages, man. I'm being very, very gracious for what we currently have right now, which is, as things stand, a decent beginning to the campaign and comfortably above the bottom 3. Following game though, aiming to bounce back. Empoli away from home, and we would win this game by a goal to nil. Caprile's 4th clean sheet of this season, as we'd hold on to a 1-0 victory away from home. Patrick Cutrone scoring the only goal of the game, and his, I think, 4th goal of the season as well, and there's no doubt about it. You've seen him a couple of times this season wear the armband in the absence of Belimo, who of course missed 1 game through suspension and has missed 1 through tiredness as well, which doesn't happen often for a player with 90 plus stamina. But even so, Patrick Cutrone, he's taken to life in this area like a fish to water, and I'm absolutely loving it. You know, last year he definitely would have won the Golden Boot had he not had that injury that sidelined him for the final third of the campaign, but also he could have potentially joined the 40 goal club. Only the 4th forward I ever would have had to get 40 goals in a single 38 game league season, but unfortunately that injury stopped his chance of having that. But this season he started off pretty well for me up top and scored the only goal of the game there in a 1-0 win. Following game though, back home, Sassuolo heading into this game looking to respond in our following game at home after the 1-0 loss to Udinese, and heading into the game we were 2-0 down. Yeah, really poor start to the game. Yusufa Moukoko moving on from Dortmund gave Sassuolo the lead there, and then they doubled it. Luka Warwick Koleosho scored his 2nd goal of the season, making it 2. Brilliant solo run as well for drilling it in to make it 2-1, but unfortunately the comeback was short-lived, if you will. Just a few minutes later, Maxi Lopez makes it 3-1. Game all but over, and then with 15 minutes to go, Sassuolo would end up getting a 4th. Yep, Stevanovic rolling home from 6 yards after I brought out Caprile. Easy goal. And no doubt about it, my toughest loss of the season so far. Yeah, we lost to Napoli on the opening day away at the Stadio San Paolo. We lost 3-1 to Juve. We lost away in Rome, but that was definitely the toughest game I had to start the season off there. I got back in the game for a wonderful solo goal from Luka Warwick, but really here, didn't really play especially well, and defensively I was carved open every single time. So yeah, big defeat there against Sassuolo. And now just 2 defeats in 3, starting to slow down a little bit. Yeah, really good start to the season, bouncing back after the opening 2 defeats on the trot. Since then, we've done quite well, but now 2 defeats in 3, just a 1 win in our last 4 games, I believe. Tough little run here for Como, and looking nervously over my shoulder here and thinking, okay, alright, every team's going to struggle for form at some point in the season, especially a newly promoted side. You expect to be the case for the majority of the season, but we've got some really tough fixtures coming as we now enter December, including back-to-back games away at the San Siro against AC and Inter Milan, or we definitely need to bounce back sooner rather than later. So yeah, following game, again, away at the San Siro, back-to-back games here against the Milan sides at the San Siro, needed to bounce back here, and what a start. 13 minutes in, it's the local lad once again, Patrick Cutrone with the goal. I'd say he's become my vice captain now for Belimo, and at some point he probably will take the armband permanently. He makes it 1-0, lovely goal as well, dinking it to the far post, and a great finish from Pat there to make it 1-0. I believe his 5th goal of the season, giving us the early lead, and soon afterwards, well, you know, I've sung his praises quite a few times this season, but Elliot Caprile made a couple of brilliant saves, including on Rafael Leao. What a stop there to keep it at 1-0. Whilst a lot of goals have been shipped by this Como team, I can't really point a finger at Caprile for any of them. He's been brilliant for me this season as we still lead by 1. Trying to close out a famous 3-pointer here at the San Siro. Unfortunately, with 6 minutes to go, I would throw it away. It was one of my experienced players as well. Yeah, trying to pass out for the back of Alexandro. Listen, we are a play out of defence type of team, but sometimes common sense needs to take over. Milan playing a high press there. I should have just hoofed it into touch. When in doubt, kick it out. You're taught that in junior football. I know a lot of modern day coaches don't subscribe to that kind of philosophy, but sometimes safety first. Don't know what I was doing with Alexander there, getting the ball away, and Danjuma levels it for AC Milan, and the hosts do claim a point. And just like the game away against Lazio, we were minutes away from a famous win on the road. Unfortunately, I had to settle for a draw. Not a bad result, don't get me wrong, but now just a 1 win in our last 5 games, and I didn't see us winning this one either. Yet following game, Inter Milan away from home, and this is one of those games where Edin Dzeko shows everyone why he is, in my opinion, I know I'm going to get some raised eyebrows from you guys for this, but he is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated top European strikers of the past decade. There, I said it, and I stand by it as well. Yeah, I believe that. I really do. He is one of the most underrated strikers we've seen in the past 10-15 years in modern day football. No doubt about that. You know, from Wolfsburg to Manchester City, then to Roma, then to Inter. I mean, for all the things the guy's won, if you look at his goal to game ratio across multiple different teams, multiple different leagues, multiple different countries, Germany, England and Italy as well. Now, of course, he's moved on to Fenerbahce in Turkey. Edin Dzeko tore me apart in this game, bagged a hat-trick. The third goal was so frustrating. Now, at the other end, hit the bar and then headed the ball straight down the keeper's throat, basically on the floor. I mean, that was just so poor for me. How I didn't get at least a consolation goal there, I don't know. But even so, Edin Dzeko gets the hat-trick, the 3 points for Inter as well. And again, I'll say it, for all the things he's won in his career, for all the clubs he's played for, I think he's one of the most underrated European strikers we have seen in the past 10 to 15 years. Yeah, I said it and I stand by it as well. Even so, following game, returning home, just a 1 win in our last 6, and I was thinking, oh man, do I need this? You know, when you're in poor form, you need a banker. Well, this was it. Wednesday night, and on Wednesdays we wear pink and welcome Regina George to Lake Como. Heading into the game, Serie B Regina coming to take us on in the Coppa Italia. We took the lead, and then the visitors found their level, and I was thinking, oh, come on, man, we're in poor form. This should be a banker here against Regina. And in the end, we would manage to scrape through with a late win. Yet 4 minutes to go, Antonio Villa scores his 2nd goal of the season and wins it late on. So this was supposed to be a banker, and it definitely didn't end up that way. But we did return to winning ways after a tough patch of form and get a big victory there to put us in to the next round of the Coppa Italia. So heading into the 3rd round for the 2nd year in a row. Last year, of course, course, that was where we got to before getting knocked out by Udinese comfortably, but hopefully this year we can go a little bit further. But even so, following game, Torino coming to take us on, the lads from Turin here, heading into this game, looking to bounce back and get our first win in the league in quite a few games. Taking on Torino, welcoming them to Lake Como. What a start. Yep, heading into the game, lovely little goal there as we built it up really nicely, and Pat converts with a weaker left foot to make it 1-0. We're in front against Torino, and with 35 minutes on the clock, once again I'm singing the praises of our number one, Elia Caprile. Great save there, keeping us still leading by 1. 8 minutes after the restart, Torino looking for their level up. Christian rolled down, dinks it into the middle, and it's converted from close range as Torino find their leveler. And unfortunately, poor run of form does continue. Yet we papered over the cracks a little bit of a 1-0 win away against Empoli and a win against Regina, but 1-1 draw there against Torino, and it's just 2 wins now in, I believe, our last 7 or 8 games in all competitions. 17 games of the season. Don't get me wrong, we're still where I wouldn't mind us finishing, in 14th place with 18 points on the board, but Lecce and Cremonese still struggling. Empoli have got a few more points on the board though. Our gap from the bottom 3 has now been cut to 6. 2 games away from the halfway point. We are where I'd take come the end of the season. Safe. But we're only safe just for now. If our poor run of form continues, we won't be for very long. But that will end today's episode of the Summer Career, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you have, then please drop a like. So you'll have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of the Summer Career Mode, where the January transfer window will open very soon.